What is... I'm not going to start that way. What's up, everybody? It's your pal Joey.T. from the Cartoon.P, and I wanted to give you a trailer reaction to the new Pixar movie, Onwards. But before I go into that, I want to recommend that you check out my Patreon page. For a certain amount each month, you can get certain perks and pledges. Highly recommend you do that to help support my show. Without those wonderful contributions, I wouldn't be able to make the content that I am providing for you today. So, onwards to the trailer, onwards. So Pixar has been making a lot of sequels lately, so it's refreshing to finally see a movie that looks like an original take. The content seems to be focused on fantasy, which nowadays, with Game of Thrones recently ending, is pretty popular. Dan Scanlon, the director of Monsters University, had this idea for a really long time and was inspired by an event in his childhood that I don't want to go into because I feel like it's going to play a big role into the movie, but you could look it up online if you are dare say you're curious about that. We have a movie that's focused on fantasy. Mentioned before, very popular with the release of Game of Thrones Season 8 a couple weeks ago. Fantasy is pretty popular now. But not just fantasy, it's a modern day fantasy. So it takes fantastical elements and puts it in present day. One of the things I noticed when the first images were released is that I thought the movie was going to be set in the 70s and early 80s, which for me would have been really cool because I felt like fantasy was very popular around those times. Dungeons and Dragons was coming out. You had a lot of fantasy movies like The Neverending Story being big hits at the box office, and even the original Lord of the Rings that Ralph Bakshi directed, came out during those times. So I felt like that was the original idea, was to have it set in the 80s, but then you watch the trailer, people got smartphones, so yeah, what the heck. I feel like nowadays people are like, we can't alienate the audience. We need to show that they got smartphones so we're hip and we're relevant and we know the kids nowadays. I don't know. I felt like they could have gotten away with that because this is Pixar. They make quality movies set in certain time frames and it should be alienating for the audience. So I don't know. I hope that's not going to be a big distraction for the movie. It's just something I noticed in the trailer that for me was a little disheartening because I had the impression that they were going to go for a specific tone, and I don't think they really committed to that tone. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. It's just a trailer, so there's that. Speaking of trailers, let's just mention that this is a teaser trailer for Pixar, and I'm talking like an old fart here, but back in the day, Pixar teaser trailers were really cool. They gave you a taste of what the movie was going to be like. They didn't tell you too much, but they told you just enough. I would say around WALL-E was when the trailers started to get pretty basic. Specifically, the teaser trailers to most of these Pixar movies. I feel like before that, with the Incredibles teaser trailer, the Finding Nemo teaser trailer, especially the Bugs Life teaser trailer, that's probably like one of my personal favorites. I feel like really cemented themselves with this specific tone that gave you an idea of what these movies are going to be like. But who knows, maybe the quality of the trailers are not reflective of the movies, so we shouldn't really go ahead and nitpick that. I will say this, the voice cast does seem very refreshing. I'm very much looking forward to the voice cast in this film, and based on the trailer, it sounds really cool. So we have a returning voice actress from Bugs Life, which I had no idea. She's going to be taking on a role of the mother character in the movie, which I think is pretty cool. She played Princess Ada in Bugs Life, so that's pretty cool. And then you have the two main leads, Marvel's biggest characters, Chris Pratt, Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, playing the older brother to Tom Holland's character, who I feel like is going to be the main character of this movie. And just based on the trailer, I love seeing their interactions. They look like they play off very well with each other. Speaking of which, speaking of immersing yourself into this world of fantasy, I thought it was really cool that the Chris Pratt character, if you look closely, he has a Celtic band tattoo, which I feel like really embodies, because I guess these characters are elves, really embodies that theme. On top of the fact that he has a patch on his jacket that says Hydra, of course the mythical beast, but for me personally, Hail Hydra. But yeah, I don't know what else to really say about the trailer. There's more to come out. I'm going to say I'm really looking forward to it. Fantasy is starting to become really big, especially for me. I'm putting out a new comic book that's set in a fantasy world. It should be coming out in a few weeks, just working on the lettering. A few little plugs over there. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this new Pixar movie. I think a lot of people are a little thrown off by the humor of it. I was personally a little thrown off by the humor. I feel like some of the jokes just didn't land. Some of them have landed before in other movies. Most of them just visual jokes like, oh, look, it's a gnome who's pretending to be a lawn gnome, but he's not actually a lawn gnome. Or, even the design of the troll didn't seem to be that inspired. I feel like I've seen that troll design used in, like, other troll movies. Well, there you go, a movie called Trolls. But for the most part, I feel like they're onto something. I'm interested. I would love to see where it goes. I don't know the release date. I know it comes out next year, 2020. So hopefully it turns out to be really good. Those are my thoughts. Comment below. Let me know what you think. It's always fun hearing your thoughts. It's always fun making these videos. And don't forget to check out my Patreon. Take care and have a great, lovely day. Bye, guys.